Welcome back to TFAC Talks. I'm Andy Millard, and I have a question for you. Have you ever seen Morris, the giant toy horse in downtown Tryon, North Carolina? Well, of course, if you've ever been to downtown Tryon even once, there's no way you could have missed him. But did you know that there is a second Morris in downtown Tryon that you may not have noticed? It is much smaller than the big one. It sits high atop the clock tower, smack in the middle of downtown, and it is an intricate work of art made by today's guest, Joe Cooper. Joe is an artist specializing in copper and textured bronze, but if you were to meet him for the first time and ask him what he does, I suspect he would tell you that he's a welder. So Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, that's right. I am a welder. Took a while, but I finally got there.
You have a degree in industrial engineering from Georgia Tech. Then you studied the arts of different cultures at Tulane. You were a commercial welder in your early career. So what's it like to have those two kind of different perspectives sort of wrestling around inside you?
I finally got a chance to start making some things that I would hope future generations will still value. It's real fortunate. And, and I have to say, the support of family and friends and the community, that made all the difference.
How did you get started? I mean, how did you make that leap from being a kind of an industrial welder, a commercial welder, to artist?
I was thinking this question might come. Looking back, I can remember walking home from junior high, something like 8th grade. Fortunately, we lived close enough where walking was safe, and we went by the public library, and I thought it was fun in my free time to stop and look at these picture books that showed things that were made in other parts of the world that maybe made a long time ago. I just liked looking at them. They were not disposable, use it a few times and toss it away things. Could be sculpture, could be statues, could be panels, could be doorknobs. Whatever it was, it had a value that was, I think the right word is intrinsic. You could see the devotion and energy and craft that went into making these things. That put something in me that later on came out as I was out in the real world, welding and doing engineering jobs. I was thinking, well, maybe I could make something too. Fortunately, where I lived, there were some guys who were doing the same thing, and they let me look over their shoulder. That helped me.
Nowadays, your day job, you make this textured bronze, and you make all these amazing lighting fixtures. You got some over your shoulder there behind you. Show us a little bit about those, and tell me about what you do now in your day job.
Well, what I'm doing now, I'm working with an heirloom, is working with the copper and the textured bronze for projects where the clients want something special. They want something with that intrinsic value. It could be a restaurant. It could be a commercial building. Very often it's you might call a high-end custom home. And, these people or this architect or this designer has looked around, and what they're looking for is something that has that kind of value. So one thing that I find interesting to this day is how simple it is. We take sheets of roofing copper, plumbing tubing,
yeah,
electrical wire of all of it just different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
You need a pair of snips to cut the sheet metal. You need something to cut the tubing. A torch, the magic rod, and you're ready to go.
Wow. And last time we talked, I noticed that I kind of started to chide you for not wearing safety goggles, but you said really that's not necessarily needed in this case.
Good point. The flame is very similar to the flame in chemistry and in radiation to the flame that comes off your cook stove in your kitchen or off your barbecue grill. So, it's not hurting your eyes in that way. Now, if it's a little bit too bright, well, put on some sunglasses, but you're going to be fine. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Now you're there right now. Today you're at Tryon Arts and Crafts School, right, in the workshop that they have made for this, and you're teaching other people how to do this, right?
Yes, that's why I'm here. Due to the work of a great number of volunteers and generous donors, the Tryon Arts and Crafts School was able to do an addition onto the part they call the Forge, and it's now the Glass and Metal, the Shane Urquhart Glass and Metal Art Studio. And so they have everything that is needed to do the copper and textured bronze.
I also don't get a chance to talk to you about your personal life very often, so I do want to press my luck just a little bit more and find out what brought you from Sarasota, Florida, I believe. How did you come from Sarasota
I've
to
been all
Tryon?
around. I'd like to say I've been all around, man. I've been all around. I've did welding in Cleveland and California and Arkansas and Louisiana and Florida and Georgia.
But you've been here for like 23 years. So what is it about this place that you ended up here?
Fortunately, 20-something years ago, a good friend from college saw some things I'd been making, and some of them included lanterns like you see here. And he came to me and he said, Joe, I've been working real estate with some really good projects down here in the Charleston area. If you can learn how to take these lanterns, mount them on the wall or hang them from the ceiling and electrify them, where they actually light up when the people do the switch, we could get you some good jobs. So he introduced me to a few architects and the special custom builders. So it's been mostly commission work ever since.
Yeah. And now I know you're using your phone for this Zoom call that we're on, but you made a little stand. I mean, you don't do anything normal. Didn't you make a little stand for your phone? Show that.
You asked me about that. My wife needed a stand for her cell phone, and I thought this might be nice.
How do you come up with the ideas to make these things?
Really, I don't want to ask that. I don't want to get too personal about that question. I'm afraid it might stop.
Okay. Well, we won't interrupt the creative process. But I do notice over your left shoulder you've got kind of a relief of Morris, the horse, and that brings me back to that Morris that's on top of the clock tower in downtown Tryon. Show me that.
And that gives me a chance to talk about what success I had due to family and friends, and also we had a great team for a number of years. Patty Peak,
Yes.
Bill Rattery, Jared Scott, and we worked together to do these big, complicated lighting fixtures for the clubs and restaurants and homes. But when it came to do something here in our hometown, it was a special privilege for us to make that march, and so we thought we would also make a little memento of that proud day.
Well, that's fantastic. We're running out of time, and I know that you're also involved in the Polk County Appearance Commission, and that you're passionate about that, and you're looking for more support in that area. And there's a lot of other things that you're involved in. You're not much of a self-promoter, but you seem to have plenty to do.
Well, thanks for mentioning the Polk County Appearance Commission. We've got a great group right now. Kathy Bretman worked with Michelle Fleming to do a new version of our website, beautifulfoothills.org. I invite everyone to go look at that. And then think about this wonderful place where we live. It's naturally beautiful. The only problems here are the ones we've caused ourselves, and so we can address those. So looking at the website, thinking about it, we can speak up to our elected officials and our county and town leaders and move forward.
Folks, you can see why I love this guy so much. I mean, not only is he a great person, not only is a unique and amazing artist, he's also deeply committed to helping his community in quiet ways like the Appearance Commission. So to learn more about Joe's work and the work of his colleagues, visit theheirloomcompanies.com. Joe also has his own website at coppertexturedbronze.com. And for information also about the classes at Tryon Arts and Crafts School, you go to tryonartsandcraftsschool.org. And of course, you can always see what we're up to at Tryon Fine Arts Center by visiting tryonarts.org. Joe, I cannot thank you enough for being here today, my friend.
Thank you very much, Andy. It's an honor to be talking with you and to be included in this part of the program. Thank you very much.
An amazing guy. Thank you so much for watching this edition of TFAC Talks, folks. And for everyone at the Tryon Fine Arts Center, I'm Andy Millard. Stay safe. Let's get through this together, and we'll see you next time.